Nottingham. And I was only there for 4 days, and we started the first day, and she was very stuck in her life. She was going through a divorce, she was having custody issues, she was in between jobs, she was having some health issues. And I only had 4 days, so I was like, we have to really go with this coaching, really fast. I said, yeah, one day, 4 days ago. You got to get stronger, you've got to get better. And it was the second day of coaching where she said to me, listen, before we coach together, could we perhaps take a walk to the park? And I'm like, we don't have the time for this, walk in the park, please. She said, I just want to walk in the park. And you know, London, the UK weather is very cold and brisk morning, so like the last time we were there, we got our mirrors together. So I was there and we were taking a walk in the park. And it was a brisk morning, but we were in a very good state. And we stopped to feed the ducks. And we walked through the park, and there was just trees and beautiful greenery, and everything was calm and serene. The park was fairly empty as well, so we had a lot of thinking going on, and we were in a very deeper state of mind. We were very chilled up. When you put the breath down at the highest up, we were in that state of mind. And as we took the bend, there was a big stairs there, and lo and behold, there was a swings. Remember the swings we used to play in the park as kids? And to my delight, it said maximum 100 kilos. So I figured, I'll kind of make it, I'll just make it. So both of us jumped into the swing. And just swinging for a while, racing, and we were quite impressed. We still knew how to swing and get high up there. We were laughing and enjoying ourselves. We flew off the swing and landed on the ground. And we were both laughing and just enjoying ourselves. And she had a little tear come out of her eye, and I looked at her and I said, are you okay? She says, I'm great. Thank you. And I'm like, but I did that. What's happened? I just realized that I've forgotten how to have fun. I've forgotten to be fearless. I've forgotten to be awesome. This life has got so much in the way with all my disturbance, and all my issues going on, that I simply have forgotten how to laugh. And that was enough for a breakthrough, and that was a wake-up call for me, because I actually thought that being quicker, like you weren't fast enough for me to speed up, was essentially the trick. And I realized that that was not the source of my creativity. But my creativity was happening in spite of the way I was thinking, not the way I was thinking. And I kind of started speaking to more gurus and more mentors about this creative potential. And they all kind of led up with the same understanding that your creativity comes in spite of the way you use your mind, not the way you use your mind. And I kind of look at these conversations like a speed bump. You know, a speed bump, you're driving down the road and you can't stop. You're going to come over it. If you can understand, and I'm asking you today to understand that the moment you slow this mind down, that you can allow this creative mind to take over, there's almost another mind that's kind of embedded within you. And it's this mind that is of inspiration, is of creativity. And in order to activate this mind, we're really going to slow down thinking mind. We're going to slow down this conditioned mind. Because only when you slow down this conditioned mind, can this genius within you, this greatness within you, really come to us. But the problem is, we're so busy mental tasking with this head of ours, and we kind of negate this mind. And you find that this mind is very creative and very intuitive. And once you harness this mind, creativity will kind of just flow. So when we get to the speed part, just how many times in our lives were we thinking about something, trying to find an answer to something, and we Googling and we searching and digging, and then one day, out of the blue, you're driving, one morning, one afternoon, boom, the answer comes up. Where is the power of the creative mind? It is nothing. It does nothing. Yet it is nothing undone. So for me, now creativity is not painting, right? Painting is a little facet of creativity. It's a little expression of creativity. Creativity is how you deal with the problems that you have in your life at the moment. Creativity is the function of your mind that has created the problem of your life in the first place. Creativity is when the rock star was caught kissing one of the band girls, and his wife asked him, how are you kissing the woman? He said, no, I wasn't kissing her, I was just whispering in the mouth. That is creativity. Creativity is, yesterday I went to the mall to get a haircut to my dad to the Central City, and I don't know if you guys need the electric parking in the house. So I went in there, and one of the ladies who came to the class, she called me, she said, come and park the red car is moving down. So I said, okay, now wait a minute. And lo and behold, the lady jumped into the red car and she reversed. So I put in there, And I jumped up and I said to her, how did you know that video is going to be in the meditation for me? She says, sir, every time is every, I know everybody, I know all the faces. So we just, and exactly what she said, but she told the other guy, hold on, sir, that blue guy is moving now. That is. So I kind of have like a nice little metaphor. And the metaphor I want to use, I want you to imagine that the answer to any problem you're having in your life right now was to appear at the bottom of the same thing. The answer to any problem. So you kind of got two ways in how to go and notice and see this problem. You can either dive into the pool and get to the bottom and go straight to the problem, but then you kind of just start in the water, right? And you're right up against the problem, so it's in your face. So you can't really get a perspective. And you can't really see the big picture because there's so much disturbance going on. The other way you can do this is you can stand at the edge of the pool. Then you can just wait for the water to settle. Because when the water finally settles, you know, it acts as a magnifying glass. And whatever problem you're having, whatever issue you're having, the solution will just kind of surface. Then you get to notice it. And this happens often, and we get to all these exceptional moments. And these exceptional moments happen over time. I mean, we engage like you'd be thinking, shoot, yeah, the last time I had an exceptional moment was like a year ago, or 2 years ago, or a month ago. I'm also hoping you're having some exceptional moments right now. But it's not that we're not creative. It's not that it's creativity doesn't create exceptional moments all the time. It's just that we are so in the habit of running this thing that we've got, this mind that we've got, 10 times faster than it's designed to run, that we cannot release and reduce all of our exceptional moments all the time. So what is this creative picture? What is this creative process? What is it that, and for me it's an output. This creative process, this creative intelligence we have is an output, like you kind of do something and then you can like, ta-da! And there's a whole nice gourmet dish that you just created from nowhere. Or you can just write the book. So this creative process is something new. It's an output that takes something or nothing to something, from the form, or from the formless to the form. This creative process is asking the question, where did this come from? Where did this decision come from? Where did this event come from? Where did you come to this event come from? Where did the form or formlessness become form? Just in a matter of output, in a matter of articulation. And I want you to ask and answer the question to yourself, that if you can insightfully answer the question as to where and who does this creativity, what was it before it became this? Where was it before it became what it became? Where was this event before this event became this event? Where was all this good stuff, all this bread and the great thing that's going on? Where was it before it actually became something that's touchable, something that's edible, something that's measurable? And if you can answer that question, to understand that it was somewhere in between your creative potential and your outcomes. You know, like you take a painter and he looks at a blank canvas and he doesn't know what he's going to do with it, right? And then all these ideas and these thoughts are coming to him. And then he realizes he wants to do this, and he gets there and he starts doing that, and he starts doing that, and he wants to move this that way and that this way. And then he looks and he goes, voila, I'm done. And we kind of point in our life where we kind of know that that project for that moment is complete. The energy I attach, the energy that I've harnessed, the creativity that I've harnessed is in the painting. I'm not saying that I might want to change it tomorrow or do another one, but for now, it's kind of complete. It's like I write some poetry and I've written 2 books. And many people must tell me that you must not write it. And writing's okay. I mean, I like writing. There is an online writing, and there is, I like writing. But boy, do I like reading what I write. Because that is really what articulates what I've done. That articulates my creative intelligence. Because way easy, I sit with an iPad and I sit with a whole lot of thoughts in my mind. And then before I know it, boom, I've got a poem. I've got a book. I've got a new conversation. I've got a new sales pitch. I've got a new innovation. I've got a new breakthrough. And it is that point that if you can answer, you will shift your relationship and your understanding with this creative intelligence, and know that you need to do nothing except let it happen and let it flow through you. And that's a really nice metaphor. It's how your formless goes to form. How from nothing you create something. How from an intangible, and then you have like a gap in between, and you create something tangible. That is really what we call the creative process, the creative intelligence, that we can't really measure, that we can't really understand, but it exists within all of us, in everything we do. And you know, for me, it's just about the amazement of where they come from, the silent mind. You do nothing, yet everything kind of just happens. And a nice metaphor, and I don't know if this is true, was candle making. I don't know if anyone here is into candle making, but when you start making a candle, you essentially begin with the wick, with the formless wick. And you put a little bit of wax on it, and it creates a little bit of a form. And then you take this form, and you can get more to it because you can now decide what flavor you want of the candle, what color you want of the candle, what scent you want of the candle. And you can create more form because it's got now a surface to be formed upon. And our creativity is much like this candle. And before you know it, you've got a candle, you shake it and you light it, and you have now created and articulated a very tangible object from nothingness. So this creative intelligence is essentially formless to form, to formless to form. It's nothing to something, to nothing to something. Now I also mentioned in my little write-up that I'm going to be speaking about re-engineering. Now we don't re-engineer creative intelligence. We don't even create creative intelligence. This already exists, right? The only thing we create are limitations to accessing this creative intelligence. The busy mind, the conditioned mind. And if you really look at it, the source of all our creative intelligence essentially is our thoughts. And that's what we can re-engineer. That's the consciousness and understanding of re-engineering. Because we have two kinds of thoughts. Okay, we have either thoughts that come through a conditioned, limiting belief, or we have thoughts that come from an intuitive, a gut feeling that imbues them with the creative intelligence, and you create the wow moment. But it is the conditioned mind that seduces that intuitive mind. You know, as you were a kid, remember all those dreams you had, all those aspirations you had, how many houses you can have around the world, how many wives you're going to have, how many cars you're going to have, and where you're going to live, and what you're going to do. So where did that all come from? There had to be an intuitive, creative quantity for that. There had to be something within you. Your creative intelligence really talking to you, saying to you that that is what you're capable of. But then as life got in the way, we started seducing those dreams. We started dwarfing those dreams. We started creating barriers around those dreams, thinking, yeah, well, I don't have the right surname, I don't have the right bank account, I don't live in the right area, I didn't grow up in the right family or the right city, so yeah, you know, that's not for me. And we get this conditioned thoughts, limited thoughts that come and take away our aspirations and our dreams. And today I want to say to you, unequivocally, that if you go back to using your intuitive thought pattern, using your gut, using the inner voice within you, that voice will then amplify and use the intuitive thought to essentially imbue with your creative intelligence, and you can achieve and set your world on fire. You can set a framework of living the life you've always dreamed of, and never ever having to worry about anything else in your life because the production of the conditioning and the limiting beliefs will disappear. So from today, use this intuitive thought. Let it imbue with the creative intelligence, which is harnessed in each and every one of us. There's no one here born without the creative intelligence. And we all have a Nelson Mandela in us. We all have a Mahatma Gandhi. We all have a Bill Gates. We all have a Mother Teresa. We all have that intuitive, creative greatness within us. All we need to do is listen, quieten down the mind, and listen to the intuitive thought. And that's how we would kind of re-engineer the consciousness of how to activate this creative intelligence. And in conclusion, I want to end with one of the nicest quotes or answers I've ever heard about creative intelligence. When Michelangelo was asked, Michael, how did you possibly create such flawless models of angels? They're perfectly perfect. How did you do that? Without any help, without any articulation. What was it? And Michelangelo simply answered them very modestly. The angels were already there. I just carved out the X's on the side. Thank you very much.